Hey guys, it's Dark Siege. It's been a minute, but here we go. I'm doing an Ultimate Siege pairing guide. Ooh. Okay, I promised this one a few weeks ago, and I'm going to go through it. It's going to be very in-depth for all you Siege players who like to get into the nitty-gritty. And I'm telling you, before you leave this video, if you want to bounce early, go to the last minute of this video. And the reason why I'm telling you is I'm going to introduce a new content creator for Siege, and if you follow my channel, you might be able to guess who it is. But I'm telling you, if you want to know about Siege and gain Siege knowledge, you're gonna want to follow this guy. Okay, also, brand new intro, and then I'll play the full intro at the end of the video too. Here we go. Okay, let's get into the pairings. So here's my little disclaimer. You know, this is my experience. Yours may differ depending on your gear and this and that, but I'm just trying to tell you what I have seen over the last couple of years, my experience, and talking with a few people of how the pairs look like. Okay? So, okay, first of all, look at the picture on the left. I have a short about it now, so ha ha ha. If you're doing one Siege pair and one Siege pair only, 99% of you are just going to go with Gajamata and Gonzo, which is totally fine. I think it's the strongest pair out there. Smite is really, really good because it has a lot of penetration. There's not a lot of resistance in other people's skill tree to Smite. So the Smite synergy between these two is awesome. Packs a huge DPS punch. Solid all around. The only negatives, right? It's slow movement like the March speed. But once you start like maxing and expertising everything, like all the gear, that kind of goes away, if I'm being honest with you. And then the slower skill cycle in the very beginning is there. There's not much you can do about it outside of having a crit horn, maybe using drums, right? But it is a little slower cycle. Other strong single pair marches. Now, when you look at the first one there, Margaret with Gonzo, I think Margaret is a Smite commander, right? She works better with Smite than she does with skill because of the way she bumps up normal damage, right? And that helps Smite a lot. So that's a strong pair. If you only had one pair and you had those two, you're fine, right? Gonzo with Bobber, I think is stronger. It is extremely tanky, and I love it. Basically, anybody with Gonzo is going to be a strong march. Like, you're not going to go wrong. You got Gonzo with somebody, even if it's an epic commander, you're going to be okay. Obviously, you want legendaries, but I'm just saying, Gonzo is very powerful, and most of you already know this. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. Okay, here's a DPS concept. There's a saying in the US, right? Rob Peter to pay Paul. It's an older saying. Not everybody might know about it. But what I'm talking about is combined DPS, right? I have Margaret there jacking stuff from Gonzo, and that's my way of saying you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. Okay, here's the concept I'm talking about. Understand this chart, the numbers. I have made up everything to prove a point. I put example, not sure which is better. Like, the numbers don't mean jack right now. I'm just trying to explain. Look at this concept. Look at group one, far left-hand side, right? Gajamata with Gonzo, Margaret with Bobber, Stephen and John. I'm saying, what if group one, making up the numbers, their combined DPS fictional number is 24, right? Making up that number. Look at group two, right? Margaret with Gonzo, and then you have Gajamata with Bobber and Stephen and John. What if their combined is 25, like one better? What I'm saying is, what I talked about in almost just a few seconds ago was Margaret with Gonzo, and then having Gajamata split with Bobber might be a better DPS pair. I don't know. All I'm saying is, like, just keep that in the back of your mind as we go through this, because I'm going to bring it up again. Again, this is all fictional, but I want you to think. That's the whole point of this. Okay, two pairs. Oh my God, you have so many options, right? Let's just go with the original four that were released. Now, this is just a concept I talked about 2 seconds ago. You can go Margaret with Gonzo, which is not a particularly strong pair. Then you have Gajamata with Gonzo, which is a really strong pair. And then if you break them apart, you'd have Margaret with Gonzo and then Gajamata with Bobber. When we first started Siege, this is all we had, right? So that's why I really tend to lean towards these concepts. But as we get further in past the years going on, this is not the same conversation with some people. So I'm going to address that later on too. Okay, if you're running 2 marches and 2 marches only, and you're starting from scratch, here's what I think are the best 2. You have Gajamata with Gonzo and Steven with Bobber. To me, I think that is the strongest 2 marches right now in the game. Could be wrong. So, March 1, for sure, Gajamata with Gonzo. March 2, anybody paired up with Bonzo. Bonzo. I was looking at the Afonso and Bobber. Okay. Afonso, Steven, and John paired with Bobber is going to be a strong march. And then flip it. You have Steven and John with Afonso. It's going to be a strong march. Steven and John, a strong march. All of those are a strong march. Let's go into 3 marches. Now, option 1 is the top row. Option 2 is the bottom row. And this is with no Afonso, right? You didn't get Afonso, but you have the original 6, right? You can do option 1, which is the top, or option 2, which is the bottom. I almost think the bottom one is better because Margaret is so weak with everybody else. That's just my thoughts, right? If you play and you experience something different, cool, right? I'm just giving you like, oh, I did like that, you know, that kind of setup. Or you're like, oh, I like the other one better. Cool. I just want you to think. No Margaret. She's not in your game plan. You have started now, you have a lot of gold heads, and you're building your 3 marches, and you don't have Margaret. This is the direction we go. You're going to keep Gajamata and Gonzo together. That is going to be a super strong march. Then Steven and John, who to me is stronger than Afonso and Bobber. I think Steven and John do a really good job. Like I said, Steven and Bobber is stronger, but I think to get a better DPS punch from all 3, you break it down like you see at the top row. Again, you can break it down like option number 2, where you have Steven and Afonso, and then John and Bobber. And then if you wanted to, you could switch it up too. Whatever you really look at, you got Siege out there. You're gonna do some numbers. I'm just saying the top row to me is the better setup. Okay, like I said, this is what I use when I go out. I just thought it was worth repeating in case I forgot to mention it. I think this gives me the best balance between all the marches. And don't get me wrong, March 1 does the best, March 2 does better, and March 3 performs the worst for me. Okay? But I always put all 3 out. Right? 4 marches. Oh, good God. We're getting into 4 march territory. Okay, here we go. I would say if you're going to go 4 marches, you go like March 1, March 2, and March 3. I think that gives you a very solid punch. And then your 4th march, you kind of just do whatever you have, if I'm being completely honest with you. I ran in my last KVK, it was a stratagems KVK, and I had Margaret with Catherine. And the reason why I had Catherine is because of the stratagems. If you provided somebody else a buff, they did like 15% more damage. And Catherine has it when she does her skill for 2 seconds. People get increased DPS or something like that, whatever it was. So that's what I used. And when I did Margaret with Catherine, I either traded even or just above even, right? Depending on how things were, right? So it was a strong march. But honestly, anybody there you can fill in for your 4th march and you would be fine. Like if you're running 4 marches, you're going to put out DPS almost any way you combine them, right? Okay. Again, 4 marches. If you wanted to do it, Margaret with Gonzo as March 1, and then March 2 and 3 is not a surprise to you, I don't think, because March 2 is really, really tanky, right? March 3, we'll put up some numbers. It'll be very defensive as well with that 20% less damage from March 3. Then March 4, just pick anybody. Like, honestly, if you don't have the other 2 legendaries, I don't have them, right? Just use an epic. Oh, which one should I use? Should I use Catherine or Narcissus? Like, honestly, both are good. They bring just a little something different. Narcissus brings a little faster AoE because he has that rage. And then Catherine has that extra damage that allows If you're all targeting the same target, everybody gets the benefit of that. Cool. Either way, you're gonna be fine. Or you don't have another legendary, you just have 2 epics. If that's what you want to run, go ahead. Commander info, how I see them. This is kind of like a strength of the commanders. This is how I view them. So when people ask me questions, oh, I have this commander and that commander, this is how you kind of should bunch them up, in my opinion, right? Most of you won't get this far in the video, so I'm probably going to do a ranking video too. It probably will be a lot shorter than this one. But when I look at Gajamada is a very strong commander because he has a lot of tanky skills as well. Same with Bobber. Bobber has a lot of tanky skills and puts out some high DPS, man. Gonzo. You guys know Gonzo's the shit, so why would I get into it? Steven's really good with the rage cycle, right? Then look at the next one, Afonso, and then John. Afonso's better than John, in my opinion, but I don't want to have like 8 different categories, right? So I kind of look at them like they're kind of in the same ballpark area. And then I think Margaret's better than Archimedes and Mary, but that's where I kind of see them-ish. And then your last little group is your epics, right? So that's kind of how I see them. And that's important to understand when you're doing pairings, what it means. If you look at some of my older videos or my past videos, I describe the strength and weaknesses of all the commanders. So 5 marches, right? I say you take the top 3, like I've said multiple times. That's, I think, the top marches for strength. March 4, you pick one of them and then you pick 2 others. That's basically what it is. It's not that complicated. Once you get to 5 marches, your DPS level is not going to be increased by any one of these commanders versus the other, right? If you have all of them and you have all the legendaries, put the legendaries out, put them together, and use Margaret with one of the epics. Done. Pretty freaking simple at that point. Same thing. You can march them up like this, right? Where you have Margaret with Gonzo. We already talked about March 2, March 3. We've talked about those already. And then March 4, again, you put, if you only have a March 4, and you pick one of the legendaries if you have them. If not, you pick an epic. If you have all these, just have the 2 other legendaries go together and just pick one of the epics to go with. Pretty simple. Okay, when I was experimenting with these different marches, I almost made a mistake. I really thought that my armaments were kind of on par with each other, the way they were set up, but they were completely different. So when you go out and you try your different pairs, make sure you know what gear and armaments you have on them, and then switch those around and see if you get the same results, right? What you'll notice, at least for me, when I switched my armaments around, I noticed a huge difference. And so I'm just saying, like, understand when you go out and test on your own your different combinations that you realize your armaments play a huge, huge role in this. Okay, here is an old video I did spotlighting Gumbeaux, right? He has started to do content for Siege, and I'm sure he's going to do more than Siege. The guy is so freaking knowledgeable about this game that I really want you guys, I'm going to put a link in my description to find him. He's done a number of shorts. He's got 2 videos out right now. They're both, I think the other one's like 5 or 6 minutes, 8 minutes, way shorter than mine. Like I tell you with other Siege content creators, I try not to watch their stuff until I put my content out because I want to be independent of that. So whatever things I say and they line up with other Siege creators, you're like, oh, okay. Like, he's not just watching one and parroting something else. This is his independent thought, right? So watch him, watch mine. Oh my God. I want to knock out my other video because I have an accessories video that I've been wanting to make. So I want to knock that out so I can watch this. One thing, Siege content creators are going to cover the same damn content, right? What else are we going to cover? There's not a lot of Siege stuff going out there. The benefit for the community is different perspectives. And I know Gumbeaux, he's a funny dude, so I try to put some humor in mine. He has humor in his. I think you're really going to enjoy it. And I think you're going to enjoy that there's a community of content creators. Not 1, not 2. Like, you need more content creators out there to get a better perspective on what's going on. And I'm looking forward to learning from his videos as well. So I can't talk enough positive things about GUMBEAUX, and the dude is just so nice, and he's connected with a lot of people in this gaming community. So I imagine in the Siege community, he will be a rising star for sure. And the other content he puts out in other facets of this game, I'm sure he knows. He's very creative. You're going to want to watch him. Okay, like and sub. The very end here, I'm going to play my intro, and I'm going to play the whole version here at the end. Like and sub. Hopefully you enjoy it. See you guys. Range rocks. Bye.
Dark seas, you best step aside and give him room, so I can lay down the pipe and bring doom. Dark Siege, we'll set up a spray, you best run and try to get dead away. Dark Siege, it's here to stay, you other punks just get out of my way. Dark Siege.